to start recording now. So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the last video presentation or video class for this week. I have already shared the agenda with us. Let me share it again so that we can see what we're going to be talking about. The first one, I'm sure you can now see my screen. The first one is the welcome address by the facilitator, and I think I've already done that. But I can do it once again. I want to congratulate each and every one of you for being part of this course so far. And I want to assure you that most of you have done wonderfully well in the second test we've taken on the second lesson this afternoon. So I want to congratulate each and every one of us. Well done. So the second item on my agenda is review of the week's events. Now, if you noticed, there has been some slight change in the way we have done our first week. And for this week, I'm admitting two more people now. Admit Fatima Ilyasu and Luca, they are joining us. So we have virtually come to the end of this week. And on Monday, when the week commenced, we uploaded the lesson plan, the lesson note, which I am sure most of us have gone through. And then on Tuesday, we uploaded the video for the lesson 2, which I'm sure all of us have downloaded and watched. And then on Wednesday, Wednesday, we've had our discussion forum. And we have several people contributing there too. And today, on Thursday, we had our test on topic 2, which most of you have also participated in. So that's basically the review of the week's activity. If you recall, the week topic was library services. And we talked about two major library services. How many of us can remember what we said about the library services we have? We said we have two services basically. That is the technical service and reader service. And we said technical services are those services that are conducted behind the scene. They are not done in the full glare of the public. They are usually done by the trained librarians. And we did mention that some of these technical services include classification, accessioning, cataloging, updating the database, and what have you. And then we also made mention of the reader service, which we said represent the contact point between the library and the user. It is basically the user that have access to this reader services, and that is why they are called reader service. And remember, we also made mention that the reader services are run upon the technical service. That is to say, the technical service is the backbone upon which the reader services are implemented. We said there are several reader services depending on the nature and the types of the library. And we said we have circulation services as part of reader services, which allows users to borrow books from the library and then take home and read at their own time and pace. And I recall some of us have really made mention of this particular service in our discussion forum. I think it was Mr. Luga that said he really enjoyed this service when he was in school because he was able to borrow books and take them home to read. We talked about reference services, which we said help the user to locate specific information. And this service is usually conducted by the reference librarians. We also have current awareness services. We have selective dissemination of information. We have reservation service. We have interlibrary loan service. We have referral services. And then finally, we also discussed user education, where we said even this course we are doing is part of user education program of the National Open University of Nigeria. Why is that so? Because it enables you, the users, the students, to acquire effective skills in the use of library for your academic and other endeavors while you're in school. So this basically represents the review of the week's activity. So the next item on my agenda is the comprehensive test on Friday. Tomorrow we are going to have a comprehensive test. Why do we call it a comprehensive test? Because it is going to cover the previous week, what we've done in the previous week, and then what we've done this week as well. I think I have more participants trying to come in. Sorry about that. So now the test is going to be in two parts. There is going to be multiple choice questions. There is going to be essay type questions as usual. I'm sure by now we are used to the multiple type questions because they are the ones we've taken so far in the last week and then this week. So now I'm moving very fast. We are going to go to the question and answer session. I will stop sharing my screen now. And if any one of us have any question, this is the time you can ask your question. I have to capture the screen now. If you have any question, please, you can unmute yourself and ask your question. We are waiting for questions, please. Questions, please. Madam Peace, no question today?
No question.
No question.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Okay.
sir.
My own is more or less like a question that is out of what we are teaching. I mean, what we are learning for now. So, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go on, sir. I can hear you.
Okay. With the advent of technology, and then versus what is happening now, coronavirus and all the stuff that is not allowing people to go out. How do you merge the two? How do you merge the two in terms of library services? How do you provide library services when people cannot go out, when people cannot go to library to study, when schools are down? How do you come in? How do you bring technology into play to assist in this regard? Thank you.
That's a very good, solid question, sir. And I think he's asking it from a standpoint of a technologist. I am quite familiar with his background, so I'm not surprised with this question that he's asking for our own benefit. Now, let me quickly add that ICT has actually impacted on virtually all sectors of our life, ranging from health, education, aviation, name it, ICT has impacted on that. And believe me, library is not an exception in that regard. Because the ICT now, most of the services we mentioned, both the technical service and the reader services, some or many of them have been automated, which means there were very little human interference in the product of such services. Take a reservation service, for instance. A user can actually sit at home, access a virtual library, make a reservation, and then get to the library and get the material without physically being there to make the reservation himself. That is one aspect that technology has impacted on the service. And now, when we look at the technical service, let's take classification for instance. I'm sure, sir, you are very familiar with the classification scheme. Let's say Library of Congress classification scheme. It's a scheme that has up to 26 volumes, very voluminous and space consuming. And now with the advent of ICT, that scheme is actually accessible online. So all a librarian needs to have to access that classification scheme is his laptop or probably a smartphone, and then log into the website and begin to classify material. Now you can imagine what obtains 50, 30, 40 years ago, when the librarian has to start going through different volumes in order to pinpoint the subject of a particular information resource that he's trying to, classify. So ICT has done a very, very, it has changed the way librarians deliver information and allow library to interact with the users. I'm sure as we progress in this course, there are going to be some areas we'll be highlighting where ICT has actually impacted on library service. Thank you very much for that question, sir. Any other question, please? If there is any other question,
Thank you,
take
sir.
it. Thank you, sir. Before we say bye-bye. Any other question? Ajara. Question, please. So, in the absence of any question, you can always reach me via my email, salisu@noun.edu.nd, or through my phone number, 08065729761. I'm sure you have it in one of those emails I keep sending to you. So I'm gonna have to wish you the very best in your upcoming test tomorrow. The test, don't worry, is not going to be very difficult. It's going to be two parts, the essay part and the objective part. But be rest assured, we're going to give you ample time to do it. So thank you very much and do have a lovely evening. My name is Salisu Shamul Bada. Bye-bye.